So that's that. So let's get our settings. I'm gonna need some more things. So we're gonna have gameplay here, and we're gonna have a new folder which is gonna be game instance, or just it's a good word for kind of something that spans like game logic, kind of like gameplay, and then I guess I could just do client and then server and just have a new class here which extends from the game client instance there. So it's going to be this. What? We crashed inside of the data manager. Actual class name is this. Get the asset. Override class equals Dashkin client game instance. Assume component is false. Generated class. Alright, so basically if blue generated class is equal to null pointer, we're just going to continue this loop. It's pretty nasty of a thing there, but basically we've got some asset loading code that I've put together which makes it easier to spawn objects by name. And it's a little bit aggravated by the fact that it's basically expecting everything in this asset path to be of a specific type, and because it's not the type it's expecting, it threw up and exploded. So and I'm probably going to take it easy today in terms of the real, kind of like we did all this planning and then the sprint. We do sprints every week and the sprint starts tomorrow, so I probably shouldn't work all day today because I'm supposed to work the rest of the week, so take some time off. Alright, so gameplay, let's do that again. Just do client, new blueprint class based off of client game instance. Alright, it didn't blow up on us. This is going to be client game instance. Let's get something. Let's take a screenshot just to have something pretty to look at. Alright, only a server. It's a blueprint class, so it's going to be the server game instance. server game instance. And we need something cooler to look at for this thumbnail. Let's make it mushroom. Alright, cool. So we've got all of our stuff rolling along for all that. So we have our game instances, which will allow us to do things. So now we need to set up our settings here for our project. Alright, so default game mode is going to be the Dashkin game mode. Now let's check the file out. Global default server game mode. We're going to want the Dashkin. Why can't we set this? Oh, I'm an idiot. That's because it's the Dashkin game mode. Like, yeah, game mode is game mode. Right. That's right. Now we want the game instance. Game mode. Alright, so we just have game instance down here. Why can't we specify the server game instance? Or do they have to be the same? Let's look it up real quick. Use different game instance on server unread. Alright, so I need to figure out how to set it up. Alright, so specify server game instance Unreal Editor. Like, is there some like advanced settings here? Play new window, play standalone, multiplayer options, play an editor, same as editor, launch configuration, same as editor. What the hell is the like dedicated server stuff? Yeah, I just don't see anything in here. Like, I've got the game instance, but maybe I just have to... Yeah, just gotta have logic that's client and server specific. They need to go in the same file. Yeah, I'm looking at the command line stuff to see if there's any override. Like, you can set the level, right? Yeah, you can set the map. Game info class? Yeah, I'm trying to Google a few things about this game instance and everything else, and I'm getting... It seems like a lot of... Either I don't understand what the hell I'm talking about, or the community at large doesn't understand the difference between game mode and game client, like game instance, game mode, and game state, and a lot of questions are using terminology interchangeably, which is confusing a lot of these. Yeah, see, like one of these answers is the game instance itself is not replicated; it only exists on the server. And then like the response is, "I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused. For me, the clients also have a game instance." Sorry, yes, I was wrong about that. Game instance lives on both the client server but isn't replicated. I'm looking at ways you might be able to transfer player state information between levels, let you know what I find. And it looks like there's going to... Alright, so I think we need one game instance for both of them. And we need to know if we're a client or a server, and then do different logic in there. Alright, well, shit. Alright, so what we gotta do is we just gotta delete these files we just made. Because we can't do that. Was it blueprint type? I suppose this is structure type that could be used for blue variables for blueprints. No, it was blueprintable. Alright, so that's what we actually need. So I gotta figure out how I want to organize code in client and the server. That's kind of messy. I really wish they had different game instances or something there, so I could easily just be like, here's the client logic, here's the server logic, and just have no way to mix them. And it doesn't look like the case, which is kind of annoying. I need this to be blueprintable as well. So I'll just have to wait for all this stuff to compile out. Hooray! Waiting around, slowly dying. So it'll be interesting. I'll have to do another frickin' reconcile, won't I? Reconcile offline. I think I'll probably get to the point here where I've got my blueprints for the game mode, blueprints for the game instance, and I want to get the game state also set up and all that. One of the issues here is for our movements, like I think I'm gonna need client authoritative movement for characters here, because our characters move too freaking fast for server authoritative movement. Like, a good example is League of Legends is server authoritative movement. You click a button that goes to the server, and the server actually moves your character, and then you just get to see that happen after, you know, the round trip, and that's fine for a slower game like that. But for something like this, like there's no way we can do that. So we're probably going to have to do server authoritative movement. Just because our characters are too fast, and that means that when we have collisions and other sorts of stuff, I'm gonna have to resolve them. So I'll have to think about what that means. It means static objects. So like if we're playing this brack and sack game and we're kicking this little ball, this little fat sack around the arena, you know, one of the nice things about, like, you know, a very similar sort of game is like Rocket League, where you're hitting the ball around, you want physics and everything to work properly, but the issue we're going to have is that if it's server authoritative, sure, we can have everything look proper and everything, but if it's client authoritative, then like you'll headbutt a ball, a little fat sack critter, and it'll go flying on your screen, but then like somebody else will hit the ball at the same freaking time, and you'll both see something different, and it'll, since it's so quick, it's gonna look freaking awful. Alright, so we don't want a server game instance. We're gonna want our Dashkin game mode. So this is going to be our, let's just call this Dashkin game BP underscore Dashkin game mode. So what we would get basically is, if we do this wrong, we're going to be, this is not the client, this is just let's just say global, and this will be Dashkin game instance. This will be BP underscore Dashkin game instance. Because if things are moving fast and they hit each other, and then we have like a resolution of a collision, right? What's going to happen is, you know, like if anybody remembers the Halo 1 Warthog, you run into stuff and you'll see on your screen like you totally running over somebody and killing them, and then like the game will freak out and then you'll be dead, and the Warthog is now halfway across Blood Gulch. You're just like, what the fuck just happened? And yeah, that's kind of what we want to avoid. So there's nothing in the client folder, so let's just get rid of it from there. Alright, so for our settings, we're going to want to set the game mode is going to be this BP Dashkin game instance, and this game mode is going to be global default server game mode is going to be BP Dashkin game mode, and this is going to be BP Dashkin game mode. Yeah, so that'll do all of that. Let's make sure we save everything. So I'm going to have to think about how exactly that's all going to work. I think that our camera is broken. Why is our camera broken? Our camera is totally busted. And that's going to be inside of our player controller. When did that happen? It's not the proxy actor. It's gonna be this. Wait, it's not broken. I just maybe it wasn't clicked in. Let's make sure. Okay, it's working. It's working. Bitey's just so small now. Alright, so I need our game state. Where do we specify our game state? Game singleton class? There's an actual singleton class? When did that happen? It probably was always there. In a single class, to create a startup, configurable per game. That's something I might want to consider. Is moving all this. I do have some singleton stuff. And I have some stupidity with setting it up, and I might be able to fix some of that stupidity. Alright, so we got our game state class and our players. I like how I searched for game state and I didn't find it because I didn't put a space. So we got our player controller. Our HUD class is right there. Player state, spectator class, our game state class. So let's make a game state class that is a C++ class with a blueprint derivative of that. So we'll make our C++ game state. Alright, so game. Is there like a game state.h? There is. Alright, so it's a game state base. Alright, game state is a subclass of behaves like a multiplayer match-based game. It is tied to functionality in the game mode. Okay. So let's throw that off over there. Dashkin game mode. Let's copy the game mode class. Mode. Dashkin game state. So let's get rid of this trash. Alright, so this is a public a game state, so this will be a Dashkin game state. So we're going to need that object initializer thing. Well, let's see if we do. Game state.cpp. Yeah, okay, here we go. Not bad. Yep. That's what I was doing here. This is the game life cycle thing. So the server makes the game state right here, and then these arrows here are these replications, which are coming over there. So that's what I was looking at earlier. Is the game state just gets replicated. You can do RPCs back and forth and all that sort of stuff. And all that, so you're correct. And the server-side game mode just is only on the server. There's no client replication of game mode to the server, as far as I saw. So you kind of use the game state to replicate out crap, as far as my 2 hours of mediocre tech doc reading led me to believe. Let's get that correct copyright up there. Just I always forget those stupid copyright things. And it's copy pasted. I copy paste the files all over the place, so the thing is I just want to make sure to go through and get these, because I'll never have the issue again as long as I never copy paste these files. Alright, what is the game state got that I can tie into? We have some match states and previous match state or whatever, you know, some just basic stuff. But there's like a post initialized components, so it is an actor. So we could tick it. Well, let's just throw a tick in there for fun then. We're gonna want the. Actually, let's not worry about it. We'll do it in blueprints because that's what we're supposed to do. Let's use blueprints for things. You're reading through some of the game mode documentation? Yeah, that's what I was doing earlier. I just booted up the stream and started reading off the site, and then just writing notes. It's pretty funny when you think about it. You know, like if anybody was gonna watch that, it'd just be like, why don't you just read the docs yourself? It's like I'll open up the encyclopedia and read it. It's also pretty funny, some of the documentation stuff there. Like, you can tell where they switch, like, tech writers. Because some of them are written like actually well and as good technical documents, and some of them are just awful, where they're written as if somebody is talking to you. So instead of just saying like the game instance exists on the game client and the game server and is not replicated, it says, while you might think that the game instance is like the game state, it is not like the game state. It is, in fact, not replicated. It'd be like, you could have just saved yourself like 2 entire sentences and like some stupid ass question and just state it outright. The game instance is not replicated. Makes it just super fun to read junk like that. Alright, I was like, I need to make it blueprintable, and I already did. Good. I should probably have some examples in here. Properties are only sent from servers to client. Property update is controlled at an actor level. Object ownership, owned actors for player controller. Yeah. So the player proxy object that we have that actually moves shit around is alright, yeah, we gotta recompile this piece of junk. Alright, let's boot that up, set that blueprint, and all that fun stuff. Alright, so we have our game instance. Let's create our game mode. I mean, our game state. BP Dashkin game state. There we go. Dashkin game state. Let's get some thumbnails because why not? So we got our server, we got our game mode, we've got our game state and our game instance. We've got them blueprintable. Awesome. So the next thing to do would be to kind of mess around with our, because when we hit play, like this is what happens when we own the object. When we run a dedicated server, if we watch the output log, we can see that all of our inputs are working properly. So basically this standard player is a player proxy actor, and it creates this player for us. We'll actually get this running. So let's see if we can actually grab a couple more players and see what the log has to say. Alright, well we didn't crash. Let's take a look at the logs real quick and see what is actually going on with this right now. Okay, so the audio manager and all the assets get loaded, and that's going to be done hopefully once by the server and then once by all three clients. So our net driver, we're listening on 777. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 loads. We then accept connection from 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 different places. We're gonna load how many? We're gonna load 1, 2, 3 different UIs. Awesome. We're loading all the things. It looks like everything got destroyed properly, shutting down platform connection. Yeah, we made a whole bunch of platform connections. They all did their thing. The game instance shutdown worked, and then we closed all our stuff. Alright, so our life cycle is at least working. We're connecting, we're getting the map, we're doing all that stuff, but of course we're not syncing anything across, because we're not replicating anything from the client to the server. And I think I'm done for today. I am all documented out, and I got to a good stopping point. I've got basically this whole flow here set up. I don't have like a connection flow or anything like that. I've got just using the automatic stuff, but that's okay. We'll get there. So awesome. So thanks for joining me and all that while we're messing around trying to figure out how to get the Unreal 4 multiplayer stuff, figuring out how it actually works, and then fixing a lot of the broken setup stuff that I had in my project. Let's make sure that the setting there, I don't save it as dedicated server and the 3 players, because if Adam boots that up, he's gonna scratch his head why nothing works. So let's make sure I don't push up a little ticking time bomb for him. And I'm going to have to go get some food and then eat that food because I'm starting to starve to death over here. Awesome. So that totally works. And it closes properly. Alright. Very cool. Let's just do a reconcile on absolutely everything. Make sure we got everything changed. Alright. So rejiggering entire project to be able to be set up for multiplayer. Alright. That's it. So have a good day, and I hopefully will have a good one as well. So thanks for sticking around, and goodbye.